The Oklahoma State Cowboys have arrived in Ames, Iowa with heavy hearts. These coaches and players are dealing with tragic news. Women's basketball head coach Kurt Budke and assistant coach Miranda Cerna were killed in a plane crash last night. In moments, another kickoff arrives for this undefeated team, while an entire university community is overcome with grief. And with that, we welcome you to Jack Trice Stadium here in Ames, Iowa. Tonight, Iowa State hosts the second-ranked 10-0 Oklahoma State Cowboys. Good evening, I'm Joe Tessitore, and I welcome you to Ames, Iowa, where early this morning the news started to circulate among those in the traveling party with the Oklahoma State football team. And once again, this athletic family, this close-knit university community, has to deal with unthinkable horrors. 10 years ago, 10 members of the basketball program lost their lives in a plane crash. Last night, 2 more members of this athletic family lost their lives. Women's basketball head coach Kurt Budke and assistant coach Miranda Cerna were killed when a single-engine plane they were traveling in crashed in Arkansas. 2 others not affiliated with the university, including the pilot, died. Budke had turned the women's basketball program into winners after taking over in '07. Miranda Cerna was a veteran coach. She was a valued part of this Oklahoma State family. I'm now joined by my partner, Rod Gilmore. Rod, there's been a lot of reflection today. University president said it is beyond words.
Well, this football team was somber this morning, devastated, and just really grieving. And, you know, people forget how close this coaching staff with the football team was to Coach Budke and Coach Cerna, and how these players were close to the women's basketball players as well. They're all hurting right now. But you can't forget also that this team had tragedy earlier this season. Assistant coach Glenn Spencer lost his wife before the Texas A&M game, and this team was devastated then, but they found a way to bounce back and rally, and to have to deal with something else new is just really, really tragic.
As for how the players and coaches are dealing with this, we say hello to Samantha Steele.
Guys, the Oklahoma State coaching staff elected not to wake up the players this morning with the news of this tragic plane crash, but by the time they got to breakfast, the majority of the team already knew. They sat in silence and watched the press conference on SportsCenter where their university president addressed the audience. And guys, Coach Gundy explained to them what happened and also told them that he didn't want them to use something of this magnitude to motivate them for something as relatively insignificant as a football game. He said, this is life and death, and this is just football, guys. Put this into perspective, the city of Stillwater is a small town, only about 49,000 people. The stadium itself seats 60,000, so this entire community revolves around this university and this athletic program, and they are surely reeling tonight.
And within the past few minutes, a moment of silence was observed.
We now observe a moment of silence in recognition of Oklahoma State's and our great loss.
There will be football on this night filled with such loss. The second-ranked Cowboys will play on. Kickoff when we return. Ames, Iowa, where Oklahoma State plays on while grieving, ranked second in the BCS standings, and Rod controlling their own destiny to play for the national championship. 10-0 for the first time in history, but 2 more wins and they get a shot at the big prize.
2 games away, heavily favored tonight in a game they're supposed to dominate, and then they get a break for a week or so before they take on Oklahoma in Bedlam.
Let's talk about the formula for success for Oklahoma State, because it's pretty simple. They score 51 points a game, and they do so with perhaps the most dynamic duo in the game.
And probably the most exciting offense in college football. And you're right, it begins with Brandon Weeden and Justin Blackmon. Perhaps the best combination out there in throwing and catching. Weeden, what a great season he's having. He's become a Heisman front runner in the last week or so. 31 touchdown passes, completing 73% of his passes. And that man is the most dynamic wide receiver in college football. He'll be a top 8 pick in the spring draft for the NFL. Has 93 catches, 14 touchdowns already, and he is all sorts of special.
Oklahoma State won the toss, deferred. Iowa State will receive. Jarvis West and Josh Lenz will be back from the Quinn Sharp kick, who leads the nation in touchbacks. And you can add another. He's the leader in touchbacks by 19 to number 2. He has a big leg. And there is Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State in his 7th year as head coach. Oklahoma State has had 5 10-win seasons in their history. Mike Gundy's been a part of 4 of the 5, either as a player or a coach. He's opposite Iowa State's Paul Rhodes. He grew up 20 minutes away from campus here at Ames. Jared Barnett, a redshirt freshman quarterback. It's a pass on the first play of the game. Takes a shot downfield and gets it incomplete. Looked like it was right in the hands of Albert Gary, but he could not hold on as Daytwan Lowe came in to break that up.
Yeah, he got that one out there to Gary, who's the 3rd wide receiver. Nice ball, but Gary couldn't come up with it with the hit. Perfectly thrown. That was Lowe coming over for the hit.
So 2nd and 10. And James White gets the call, and White with just a gain of about a yard and a half that time, as he was tackled by Nigel Nicholas.
Now Barnett is an intriguing story. Took over, gave some life to this offense a couple of games ago, and he's a runner first, a passer second. The running game, great skills, passing, starting to get a handle on it.
And really an improbable starter, Rod, if you think about where he was back in fall camp.
Absolutely.
3rd and 9 now, with Barnett and White in the backfield together in the shotgun. Across the middle, and it looks like that's going to be just short of the line to make as Albert Gary tried to stretch out. That mark looks just short of the 30. It was Markel Martin with the tackle on 3rd down.
Good strategy by Oklahoma State's defense. Bring the pressure, force Barnett to get rid of the ball quickly, and then just make a sound tackle before the 1st down marker.
So Kirby Vanderkamp, with the 2nd best punting average in the Big 12, comes on to boot it away, and Josh Cooper is deep for the Pokes. And he calls for the fair catch at the 25. So Brandon Weeden, who needs just 150 yards to become the all-time leader in Oklahoma State history. He's had himself a sensational senior year. Comes out with those 31 passing touchdowns among his gaudy stats.
Yeah, but check out what he's done on the road. He is not intimidated playing in front of a hostile crowd.
There's a lot of guys that would consider that a college career.
No doubt.
10-0 on the road. Joseph Randall, and Randall scoots ahead and fights his way spinning out to the 28, where he was tackled by Stephen Rumpelhelmer.
Now, you know the story about Weeden being a professional baseball player for 5 years. I wonder if that helped him deal with being on the road, not being intimidated after all those bus rides.
As the Yankees' first draft pick in their 2002 draft. In fact, George Steinbrenner himself called when he was drafted. 2nd and 7 now for Weeden. Look at the time he has, and that was low, intended for his star receiver, Justin Blackmon. So a 3rd and 7. As this crowd here tries to rally support for their defense. Delayed handoff to Randall, and Randall is wrapped up right away by A.J. Klein. So a 3 and out for one of the top offenses in the country.
A little bit off on the opening drive. Whedon on second down throws the ball low, and then give credit to Iowa State expecting a draw play on that third down.
Quinn Sharp with a big boot as Josh Lenz calls for the fair catch inside the 20. Both defenses getting the job done on those opening series. Nice work by A.J. Klein. Scoreless here early in Ames, where so much of the sports world's focus has been on the tragedy involving Oklahoma State's head women's basketball coach and assistant coach in the plane crash. But here at Iowa State, they suffered a similar tragedy in 1985 after winning second place in the NCAA cross country championship. 7 student athletes and staff members were killed in a plane crash 3 days before Thanksgiving. And you saw they have a stone bearing the names of those who died. It was dedicated in 1995. James White with a gain of 2. White scored the game-winning touchdown against rival Iowa in that triple overtime game earlier this year.
Iowa State controlling tempo, giving the impression of going hurry up.
Barnett now to pass and goes with the screen game to Lenz, and Lenz out for a first down at the 30. And let's take a look at the offensive starters surrounding the redshirt freshman Jared Barnett.
Well, he's going to need some help, particularly from the outside. They've got a nice one in the backfield in White, 600 yards, replacing Chantrell Johnson, who's out for the year with the neck. You just saw Lenz there. That was his 33rd catch of the season. He's your top receiver.
As Barnett hurried up to the line and then checks over to the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think they want to go fast.
Not with what they're opposite tonight. Barnett trying to make something of nothing, and he does. Gets to the edge for a 9-yard gain before he was taken down by Broderick Brown.
That's the X factor he brings to the party. He's got great running skills. He's got a little shake in him to go with the speed.
And quickly they snap this time. And it is Jeff Woody who picks up that first down. A gain of 2 to the 42. So Iowa State able to move the chains and keeping that guy, the Heisman contender Brandon Whedon, off the field.
Well, we've seen teams move the ball against Oklahoma State's defense this season.
The bigger back Woody remains in the game with Barnett in the backfield. And a quick strike is incomplete as he was looking to get it to Darius Darks, who was covered by Brown.
Well, teams have had success moving the ball against this defense. Look at what they've done on the ground. Texas more than 200 yards. Missouri, Kansas State. Most of those games were competitive. These were not games where Oklahoma State jumped out by 21, 35 points, except for Baylor.
I want to talk to you a little more about that, because that is absolutely the perception when you look at these defensive stats. And that was overthrown, intended for Josh Lenz. So the numbers you put up there, Rod, most people say, well, Oklahoma State's scoring 51 points a game. So, of course, it's a lot of junk yardage, ender points, and teams are playing from behind. They're passing the ball nonstop. You say otherwise.
Until you go in and actually look at the tape of the games and see how close those games were in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and teams were still gaining yards on this defense. There's Bill Young, their defensive coordinator.
Says the emphasis for us is turnovers. They have done a good job at that. Here's 3rd and 10 now for Barnett. And Barnett gets it complete for a first down to Darius Darks.
Wow, where'd that come from? Talk about getting it done the right way. You protect your young quarterback and watch what he delivers. He's got plenty of time, and he delivers a strike that Darks goes down for. Tremendous catch.
So Iowa State crosses midfield for the first time tonight. A first down at the 46. And this is Woody trying to turn the corner, and he does so. A good effort from Jeff Woody, but he was finally pushed out there by Markel Martin.
Well, this defense, as you mentioned, can take the ball away from you. They live by the turnover. They practice it daily. They devote a lot of time to it, but they give up yardage. They bend and try not to break.
2nd and 2 now. Barnett complete, and once again Josh Lenz as they get it down to the 17-yard line. Iowa State on the move as Lenz is a little slow to get up. He has been a key performer. Had a good-looking touchdown catch against Texas. And a 21-yard reception here.
Well, when they have opportunities to make plays, they have to. Not a perfectly thrown ball, but Lenz does a great job slowing up to get it, but then he comes up lame, and he is the most steady receiver they have on their team. If he can't go for a while, any period of time, that really hurts Iowa State's offense.
Leads the team in receptions, does Josh Lenz. But how about the confidence bubbling up here with the first-year starting quarterback, Jared Barnett?
Well, he plays with a lot of poise, and they've got a great environment for him tonight. Sold-out stadium, number 2 team in the country here. A guy who seems to grow with each start.
Lenz is up and walking off to the sideline. There's Albert Gary. He is playing tonight after having missed 3 games earlier this year when he was suspended for his connection to a robbery. This week he actually turned himself into the county sheriff's office. The Iowa State Police Department had charged him with 1 count of first-degree robbery. He served the 3-game suspension earlier. The situation this week was procedural with the law.
You know, just to address the Gary situation, I think Coach Paul Rhodes has done an interesting thing. Because the legal process was taking so long, he suspended Gary right off the bat for violating team rules. And now he's going to wait for the legal process to be concluded. And then if more penalties are warranted, he will impose them at that time. But he's done what he felt he needed to do as being ahead of the legal process.
Woody lost 2 yards on that last run. So a 2nd and 12. They go with West on the screen. And he fights his way to the 16-yard line where it'll be a 3rd and long. Nigel Nicholas was able to get to Jarvis West.
Well, here's the thing. You can't kick field goals in lieu of getting touchdowns against a team like this. When you play Oklahoma State, you play Oregon, teams that can score quickly and score a lot. You have to match them. You have to get touchdowns. You can't rely on field goals. So this is a key 3rd down.
5 wides empty for Jared Barnett on 3rd and 9. Line to make is the 7. Launches it towards the end zone, but overthrown into the outside, looking for Aaron Horn. So it will bring up a 4th down. Jamie Blatnick was getting in against Jared Barnett at the end of that last play.
Yeah, he got there enough to affect Barnett's timing, and that ball was way offline.
Zach Geyer, who spent the last 3 years as the backup, now getting his opportunity, and this is a 34-yard attempt to try to strike first on the scoreboard against the 2nd-ranked team in the country. And he kept it right where he aimed it. No good, just off to the side. Straight as could be, but it stayed to the outside. So Iowa State's drive comes up empty. Scoreless here in Ames. Stay with us. That is the Memorial Union here at Iowa State, opened back in 1928. Beautiful structure as we welcome you back to Ames. where you can have a Hill ticket. Sit in the corner of the end zone, take in the game.
Pretty cool environment over there, huh?
Sure is. Nice setting here for the #2 team in the country. Kai Staley out of the backfield, fullback with a first down as Brandon Whedon looks to get going. You know, you look at what they've done in first halves this year, Rod, and here we are halfway through the first quarter, and they don't have a point on the board.
Yeah, it crosses your mind if they're quite not firing on all cylinders yet. Had a tough day.
Here's Whedon now to Randall, and Randall makes one move and gets a gain of about 2.5 yards. He was tackled by A.J. Klein and Jeremy Reeves.
But this offense has a lot of weapons. I know everyone thinks in terms of Blackman, but Randall, 21 touchdowns out of the backfield.
He has 14 touchdowns over the last 4 games, and it's up to Wally Burnham, that man right there, to try to figure out a way to stop this offense. Play action now for Whedon. Look at the time for Whedon, and gets it complete to Blackman, and in trying to gain some extra yardage, he actually comes up a yard short of the first down. Tackled that time by Leonard Johnson.
Take a look at the backs and receivers here. We talked about Blackman, his 93 catches. He's had 3 straight games over 100 yards receiving. And Kendall Hunter was the great running back last year. Randall's in there. He's had 4 TD games a couple weeks ago.
3rd and 1. Randall, one move and a lot more, and a first down, and the ball came loose there. And Iowa State has it. That was Jake Latimer, who was quick to jump on it.
This ball comes out right away, no question. He wasn't down. Washington with the big hit, and Latimer right there on the spot to pick that up. And the #2 team in the country has had a very rough start.
Not what we're used to seeing with Oklahoma State. And there was some motion there.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So it backs him up to a 1st and 15 after the fumble recovery. Dangerous pass, floats in the air and goes incomplete. Remember, we saw their wide receiver, their leading receiver, Josh Lenz, injured earlier. Sam, what can you tell us?
Yeah, not a good sign, guys. They were working on his left knee, left lower leg, but they did put him on the John Deere and took him into the locker room, so it doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon. But as you know, guys, they do not have a world beater at wideout. They need this guy, especially over the middle.
And Josh Lenz is leading the team in reception, so a loss for Paul Rhodes' offense. 2nd and 15 out of the backfield. White, and they're ruling that incomplete, not a lateral, incomplete. So it'll make for a 3rd and 15.
Well, if you're going to threaten the #2 team in the country, you have to hang on to the football. They've had a couple of drops already. You have to make plays when you have the chance to do that. And this Iowa State team has already dropped a couple of passes, and you hang around, Whedon will come and get you.
And Rhodes said that if Oklahoma State's going to be beat, they have to make mistakes, because if they play their game and we play ours, they're going to win. 3rd and 15. Takes a shot, but well overthrown for Darius Reynolds. That is not Jared Barnett's kind of game right there. 3rd and 15, not the spot you want to see with the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Well, he saw single coverage and he thought he had something. He thought that Reynolds was simply going to keep going straight up the field, but instead Reynolds cut inside, not on the same page. And so that's a wasted opportunity for Iowa State. 1st and 10 at midfield, and they get nothing out of it.
That after having missed a field goal attempt on their previous possession. Vanderkamp's punt, fielded by Cooper, and he's only able to get to the 24. Still scoreless here in Ames. A look at downtown, close by campus. Stay with us, more to come. Oklahoma State has scored 38 of 40 quarters this season, with scoreless here with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the first at Iowa State on ESPN. There's Brandon Whedon downfield and gets it complete to the 40-yard line to Isaiah Anderson. So just like that, the Cowboys move it downfield.
One of those other weapons, and it helps when you can get some protection. No one threatening Whedon until very, very late. And Anderson, unsung as a wide receiver, former running back, comes up with a big catch down the field.
And this is one of those don't blink offenses. They pick up the blitz, floats it out there, and it goes incomplete. It was over the head of Josh Cooper. The pressure came from Matt Tafao.
Yeah, well, clearly Iowa State wants to force Whedon to move his feet. When he's on his spot in the pocket, he's incredible. I mean, he's got great accuracy, but not many teams have been able to force him to move his feet.
Smith in motion out of the backfield on 2nd and 10. And this is complete to Blackman, and he tries to surge ahead for the first down, but he's going to be marked about 1.5 yards short as Leonard Johnson, who's arguably their most talented player on defense, was matched up with Blackman.
It's a big night for him. He's projected as a mid-round draft pick, and he's looking forward to that matchup with Blackman, figuring that he's got a chance to move up the draft charts if he plays well against Blackman.
3rd and 2 here.
He's a physical guy out there, too. He's not afraid to get in Blackman's face.
Smith. And he's got 3 yards there for a first down at the 29-yard line. A week ago, Brandon Whedon against Texas Tech, 423 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he left the game in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's why you want to try and disrupt him. If you let him stay in that rhythm and stay in one spot, he will absolutely beat you up.
Pressure up the middle, and that is intercepted. Jaquez Washington picks off Brandon Whedon. A.J. Klein came with the pressure. Whedon forced it over the middle, and Washington gets the INT.
Here's a guy who doesn't see. He's going to come back off into coverage, and Whedon forced to move his feet a little bit more than he wants to. The second drop back off the back foot, throwing that football, did not see coverage coming over, tips it right there with the eyes, and throwing off the back foot, off of his fundamentals so far tonight.
That last little shuffle back with the pressure coming at him. And the screen pass was too high for Jarvis West. Well, you really see where Jared Barnett is as a runner compared to a passer.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go throwing the football. Came in tonight completing 49% of his passes, more than 500 yards rushing already this season. This guy can do it with his feet. He's got enough of an arm to be effective, but he's got to be more accurate.
We're going to pass again on 2nd and 10, and the crossing route. And this is Horn, and Horn scoops his way forward. What a nice play by Aaron Horn for a first down to the 34.
If you're going to beat the #2 team in the country, you need some good things to happen for you. You need mistakes by that team. Oklahoma State, 2 turnovers in the first quarter tonight, but Iowa State has not yet taken advantage of that.
Barnett to pass again, and once again complete. That's Darius Reynolds. You know, Paul Rhodes says something very interesting to us yesterday, Rod. He said, we need to survive the first 10 minutes of this game. Take it in chunks, get to halftime. Well, look at that scoreboard. Look at the time. They survived the first 10 minutes of this game.
He's not out of danger yet.
Oh, look, far from it.
That Oklahoma State team can put up points in a hurry.
2nd and 5 now. Really trusting Barnett through the air. Oh, and that should have been caught. Darius Reynolds turned to the outside and never had the ball with him.
I count 3 drops at least already tonight. And this ball got on Reynolds in a hurry. It looked like it was obscured because he thought for a moment there that Blatnick was going to pick it off, and it went right through his hands. So he probably didn't pick it up after it went through Blatnick's hands.
See the disappointment with Barnett trying to loosen him up a bit, get him to play smart, throw the ball well. Not doing too bad of a job tonight, but the receivers have to come through. 3rd and 5. Escapes the initial pressure and then gets it complete for a first down to Darius Darks. A little magic from Jared Barnett.
A little sandlot. He can create. We talked about his speed, but his lateral movement, little shake. Watch the shake to buy time and get free. He's not just a straight ahead runner. So he manages to find enough room and space to get this ball out there to Darks and keep a drive alive.
Jeff Woody, a reverse now. Reynolds being chased. He wants to throw it. And it's incomplete as he was looking for Aaron Horn.
Well, they are trying to come up with ways to create something to get that big momentum lift. And that reverse pass wasn't going to go for an awful lot. But it would have lifted the spirits of the crowd and this offense.
Paul Rhodes has pulled off a couple of those trick plays earlier this year. They had a big one against UConn to spark a second half comeback. And there was motion there.
Yeah, it's going to be on the right side.
Full start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Well, there have been miscues tonight. Iowa State had chances, but they've been dropping a lot of passes. Balls that were close enough to be caught, should have been caught, turned into plays, turned into first downs. They have just dropped them. 4 of them I count so far that they didn't come up with. And if you're going to get it done against number 2, you can't do that.
2nd and 15. Design quarterback run for Barnett. Crosses midfield and dives out to the 47-yard line. There will be a 3rd and about 4.
So, Tess, if I'm counting, we got 4 drops, 2 penalties, and a missed field goal for Iowa State.
Some missed opportunities, and meanwhile, Oklahoma State, the interception, the fumble. So they've been serving it up to Iowa State, but this game's still scoreless. 3rd and 4 now. Pressure up the middle, just dumps it to the running back, Woody, who fights and spins for another Iowa State first down.
What a terrific job by Woody. Woody was in there to pick up the blitz, and he came off of it. And a nice job by Barnett to find him when they were outmanned by the blitz package. Nice job by Woody to feel it, to get outside, and to pick up the first down.
Just the 3rd time that Jared Barnett has started a ball game in a pressure spot against number 2. And pulling things off well so far with the Heisman Trophy candidate just looking on the opposite sideline. Play action now on 1st down, and this is complete to Darks. It's a 7-yard reception to the 34 as Broderick Brown came in to make the tackle on Darks.
Well, you see Iowa State dominating time of possession, 27 plays. That is a great way to play defense against the Oklahoma State offense.
Exactly. Don't have him on the field. Another first down with more hard running from the 235-pound sophomore, Jeff Woody.
Well, the plan is a good plan. You know, they're throwing the short passes they can. They're changing tempo. They're running the quarterback.
Oh, this is going to be a pick 6. How about it, Sean Lewis?
What moves? Sean Lewis waited for his blockers. Barnett didn't go get him, and the blockers showed up to help him out.
Sean Lewis on that return run went from running a good 40 to being timed by a sundial, but it didn't matter with the blockers coming along the way as he was able to easily get it in. So the first score of the night, not from the arm of Brandon Whedon, but the defense of Oklahoma State. 70-yard interception return for a touchdown. The Big 12 Freshman of the Year a year ago gets the Cowboys going. Sean Lewis is breathing hard. 70-yard interception return for the touchdown as the mistake was made by Jared Barnett throwing it out there in the flats, and Lewis jumped on it and got the Cowboys on the board here, 7-zip. Jarvis West will just take a knee.
Well, Tess, on that touchdown, let's go back. Sean Lewis goes from goat to hero. He's here. He is supposed to be over here. They have 3 receivers uncovered. He's coming over late, and he never stops. He just looks up and goes, and Barnett never saw him. Thought he had an easy play out there, kind of lazily puts the ball out, sort of the way Lewis lazily went down the field. You thought he was in. I thought he was going to get caught there.
He starts jogging the last 40 yards there, but there was nobody but the one player with a slew of Cowboys ready to lead the way into the end zone. And that defense has gotten by all year long on turnovers, even though they give up plenty of yards, and one of them here puts them on the board. So Barnett back to business, and he finds Horn once again over the middle. A gain of 4.5 that time, tackled by Alex Elkins.
How does Iowa State respond emotionally? They control the first quarter, and all of a sudden they're down by 7.
When you sit there, the Iowa State defense keeps Brandon Whedon, Justin Blackman out of the end zone, and you're still trailing 7-zip as we come to the final half minute of this first quarter. Jeff Woody with the inside handoff. He is met right away by Tyler Johnson. Johnson, a 24-year-old sophomore, had a pro baseball career, was an outfielder in the Angels organization. Mike Gundy does well with those former baseball players.
Knows where to find them. They're already keeping money in their bank accounts.
Number 2 team in the nation up a touchdown at the end of 1 here in Ames. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, and Sam Steele here in Ames, Iowa. Number 2 team in the country, Oklahoma State, up 7-0 on Iowa State. Barnett incomplete on 3rd and 4, looking for Aaron Horn.
He's off. He's had 4 passes dropped, and he's probably missed on 4 by himself.
As he goes over to consult with head coach Paul Rhodes. And Kirby Vanderkamp will make his way back on. Kick to Josh Cooper. And it's a good boot by Vanderkamp as Cooper is backed up all the way inside the 15. He's got a blocker in front, cuts back, and is able to cross out to the 41-yard line. Flag is down there in the midst of that return.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 41. At the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Nico Ornelas, special teamer. And there is the call on Nico.
Right there. Anytime you are chasing, you're likely to be hit with the block in the back. When you're chasing that guy in front of you, you're in a bad position. Yeah, the other thing the officials look for is which way does the guy fall who's been blocked? Does he fall to the side or does he fall on his face? If he falls on his face, he's been blocked in the back.
That negates a 26-yard return by Cooper. Jeremy Smith now, and Smith forces his way to the 14-yard line. Now, not what we're used to seeing with the Oklahoma State offense in that first quarter, Rod.
Yeah, only 12 plays. They did not score a touchdown. Their touchdown came by the defense on a pick 6. And actually, Whedon threw a pick in the first quarter and threw a ball in the dirt as well.
It's a team that averages 565 yards and over 51 points a game. Delayed handoff this time goes nowhere. Smith was just smothered on the inside that time. In on the play was Stephen Rumpelhammer. That's a loss of 4.
Yeah, good play inside by McDonough and Rumpelhammer. Doing a great job. Those are big guys inside, 300 pounds apiece, and they're hard to move.
And now Jack Trice Stadium, crowd on its feet, a 3rd and 8.
Can they make Whedon move his feet? That's the key when they bring pressure.
They give the look of a bit of pressure, and then they back off and only bring 3. Whedon with time downfield has a man, and what an effort by Colton Chelf.
And he come down with that in bounds. Whoa, what a leap.
Stretching out, twisting and turning his body and stabbing the 1 foot, 31 yards on 3rd and 8.
What a job with that right foot clearly in bounds. Big catch, and you're talking about one of the guys who's not one of their top receivers. I told you, they've got a lot of weapons out there on offense.
So you see the streak of long balls continuing for Oklahoma State. Whedon now, and now maybe he has found his groove as Tracy Moore streaks inside the 35.
You know what happens with this offense? It begins with Blackman, and they check to see how you play Blackman out there. And if you're doubling him, then they go elsewhere, and they really stress your linebackers and safeties.
And quickly now they go with the screen to Chelf, and Chelf has it inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. He was tackled by Jake Knott. And quickly Oklahoma State right over the ball, wasting no time at all here. The screen again, and a first down by Chelf again.
Well, those screens are designed to stress the outside linebackers and safeties to make them play out of the box so that Oklahoma State can turn around and run inside. They stress you out that way by making you decide, are you going to play pass first or run first?
Wally Burnham, the defensive coordinator, barely has time to look at his play sheet. Here's Whedon. And this time it's Cooper crossing. And Cooper gets it to the 16-yard line. All of a sudden, Oklahoma State's offense just wakes up when they were pinned deep. That big play to Chelf, and Whedon, it's like he was hungry. And somebody was serving a meal, and he just wants to eat it now. Just wants to get after it and get this offense going.
It wasn't on the field in the first quarter very much.
Now here's the screen to Blackman. Blackman makes one move, then the stiff arm, but a gain of just 3 yards. A.J. Klein came up with the tackle on the All-American receiver.
This area is big for Blackman. If you play him one-on-one, they will go to the corner of the end zone on you. They will fade route you any chance they get.
Diamond formation backfield on 3rd and 3. Smith has to fight for it, and he comes up short. A.J. Klein once again. So a 4th and 1.
This should be field goal time.
And Quinn Sharp does indeed run onto the field.
See, when you're the better team, you can be methodical and just pile on the points. You don't have to worry about going for it on 4th down and getting a break or anything. You can just keep tacking on.
Sharp is nearly automatic. First year with the job, but he has been sensational. 16 of 18 on the year. And he drills the 29-yarder. 10-0. Number 2 on top in Ames. Joe Tessitore and Rod Gilmore with you here. Number 2 trying to work their way towards a BCS title game. Oklahoma State up 10-0 on Iowa State. So Brandon Whedon on the phone. Rod, you think of this Oklahoma State team, you think of Whedon, the Blackman, and all the high scoring through the air. They got an interception return for a touchdown and a field goal. Jarvis West with the return. And West able to get it out to the 27-yard line. Of course, the focus today with Oklahoma State, the unimaginable tragedy suffered last night when women's head basketball coach Kurt Budke and assistant coach Miranda Serna were killed in a plane crash. And Mike Gundy said, we're very sad to learn of their deaths. A tight family at OSU. Our coaches very close. We pull for each other. Said they both always had encouraging words. We're excited about our season, and our prayers go out to the families and the team. Jarvis West now with the direct snap, and West fights his way for about 2.5 yards.
You know, that statement by Gundy does not necessarily reflect the way or the depth of emotions that he was feeling today, as Sam Still told us about his conveying the information to his team and how somber they all were and how they were grieving this morning at breakfast and the like. So that was a statement, but we know this has been a difficult day for him. He couldn't even find time to chat. He was so wrapped up and so emotional.
Well, he said, listen, the first time I really talk about this, I want it to be with the grieving families, and you have to be able to respect that, which we do. Aaron Horn, look at the move by Aaron Horn, sidestepping the would-be tackler. That was Daytwan Lowe and Markel Martin trying to get him.
Well, the last couple of weeks, Horn has really come on. He's the guy that can get you yards after the catch. Transfer from San Francisco City College, actually came over here with the backup quarterback.
And White is brought down that time by Nigel Nicholas.
They have to find a big play, a playmaker. Maybe it's Horn, but someone has to make a guy miss and get them a chunk of yardage.
Remember, as Sam Stale told us, Josh Lenz was taken off the field. The leading receiver injured in the first quarter. 2nd and 13 now for Barnett. Quarterback draw, and he slides down at the 36-yard line.
He's doing a nice job of recognizing the blitz, and when he sees it, he's able to get away from it. This is a guy who's not just going to sit there in the back pocket and wait for you to tackle him. He's going to break contain. He's going to dip up inside if he can. He's more comfortable running than throwing right now.
Now facing a 3rd and 6, 3-by-1 receivers with White in the backfield. Going to take a shot downfield, and that's off the hands of Horn, but the flag comes in. The coverage was by Zach Craig, and the flag came in at the end of that play.
Well, he took the chance. He took a shot down there, and Craig gets flagged, and the problem.
Pass interference, defense, number 23, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, that's a good call. I was talking to referee Reggie Smith before the game about pass interference, and we went through all the possibilities, including that one when the guy does not turn his head around. That is the thing that happens all the time. It's enough to get you flagged.
So a first down at the 21. James White tried to go against the grain there, but only a gain of 1.5 yards as Lowe made the tackle.
You know, Tess, as a former DB, I can tell you that at some point when you're down the field, you know the ball's in the air, and you have to find the football. You've got to turn your head around. If you do that, you'll avoid a lot of pass interference calls.
Yeah, Craig was just keeping his eyes the whole time on Horn. 2nd and 8. Here's White again. And finally the whistle is blown. And he is there at the 16-yard line. So it'll make for a 3rd and 5.
You know, normally I would say that you've really got to get to the end zone here when you're the underdog. But the way they're playing and being in the ball game here, this is not 2-down territory. You try to get it here, but if you don't get it, I think you got to kick the field goal and keep this a 1-possession game.
I agree with you. They've done a good job of muddling and shortening the game and moving the ball in little chunks against Oklahoma State. Takes a shot to the end zone, and they come up with it. Darius Reynolds with the touchdown catch. How about this? Number 2 team in the country. Only up 3 as Jared Barnett finds Reynolds for the 16-yard touchdown catch. Now it's turning into a pretty intriguing college football game, but it'll also be one heck of a wrestling duel meet. As we visited wrestling practice here at Iowa State yesterday. They're currently ranked 23rd. Oklahoma State is 3rd. Two of the best programs that college wrestling has ever seen. And number 2 in a fight here in the first half. It's Darius Reynolds, the senior on senior night, with the 16-yard touchdown reception. It's a short bouncing kick fielded at the 6-yard line by Josh Stewart. Stewart then keeps his balance and then is taken down at the 25.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Barnett sees this right now. He sees that he's got his receiver Reynolds matched up with Brown in single coverage, and he knows if he throws a good fade route, it's going to be done. And he makes the best pass he's thrown tonight, and he ought to be excited about it.
If I told you that Jared Barnett would have more touchdown passes with 7:14 to go in the first half than Brandon Weeden.
Go figure. You kidding me? He's got more passing yards, and he's got a touchdown to none for Weeden, and Weeden also has a pick tonight.
There's Brandon Weeden, the 28-year-old Heisman Trophy candidate, looking to get things going here for the Cowboys, and that is incomplete as he was trying to find Josh Cooper, but the coverage came from Taron Benton.
A tale of a couple of quarterbacks. You want the young guy or you want the older guy? Compare this. You talk about experience and difference. 28-19, 24th start versus the 3rd start. And how about that? 69 touchdown passes. Weeden been around for a while.
Super Bowl MVP Aaron Rodgers won't turn 28 until December 2nd. And that'll be a first down as Josh Cooper just lowered his pads at the end and was able to move the chains.
I think Weeden knows it's time for him to go to work.
When they go to work, they do so in quick fashion. Look at that play clock. They are lined up and snapping at 28. And that crossing the 40 was Isaiah Anderson, tackled by Jake Knott.
You know, and I think emotionally, mentally, Iowa State's trying to frustrate this offense by not letting Blackman really get that involved. You know, big-time receivers like to see the football an awful lot early on.
Blackman's to the near side, covered by Johnson. There he is, big number 81, one of the best players in the nation. 2nd and 4. Weeden, plenty of options. He goes with Jeremy Smith, and Smith has it out to midfield where it'll be a first down for the Cowboys.
But right now, Johnson is winning that matchup with Blackman, which is huge. I mean, he's forcing Blackman to be a decoy right now.
Very mature player is Johnson, and this is Cooper again with the quick strike from Weeden. Leonard Johnson, the cornerback who gets the matchup with Blackman. This is a guy that the coaches rave about his maturity. They say, listen, this is his moment.
Yeah.
We say all the accolades and laud him. Now you got to prove it against a guy like Justin Blackman. And now Smith coming out of the backfield on the other side. And another first down for Oklahoma State, as they will have the ball just inside the 34.
Now there is your all-time passing leader in school history, Brandon Whedon, now at Oklahoma State.
Ahead of Zach Robinson and so many greats who have come before him, including his head coach, Mike Gundy. And here's Blackman now. And Blackman shakes the first would-be tackler and then high steps his way to the 27.
Yeah, he got by Johnson on that one, but career passers, Coach Gundy, third on the list, had a great career. Hartley Dykes was one of his wide receivers.
Yeah, they had some serious talent back then. Of course, Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders. 2nd and 4 now. And a timeout is called by Iowa State. Paul Rhodes' team playing tough tonight against the Pokes. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, Sam Steele with you here, and probably a lot of Alabama and Oregon fans enjoying the fact that this is a tight game. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 Eastern on ESPN. Brandon Whedon, what a throw and catch to Justin Blackman.
This is what he can do. He's actually covered, well covered, but he just makes a great adjustment. The ball thrown short, he's able to go up and take it away. He was covered, but the great players make great plays no matter what. Look at this. He gets up and makes it happen.
I mean, how about that moment in midair with that full stride motion? And Whedon has now completed 13 of his last 14 passes since throwing that interception. All 8 plays on that scoring drive were passes. Brandon Whedon hits his stride here with 5:26 to go before the half.
And he finally got Blackman involved. Blackman had been held pretty much out of the loop of things by Johnson, but one play is all it takes to change that around.
And if I said to you, Ron, think about the turnovers, think about the way that the offense of Iowa State played with Jared Garnett, all the things that Iowa State needed to have go their way to stay in this game. You blink, and Oklahoma State with Brandon Whedon and Justin Blackman can make it look like a 10-point margin.
You can make the case that Iowa State had outplayed this team, yet they missed some opportunities. A missed field goal, they had a fumble, they had penalties, they had opportunities to get points, and they didn't get them. And then they give up a pick 6. So all those things probably kept them from being where they could be, should be.
Here is Horn on the return now. And Horn cuts back to the middle and gets out just across the 25. Let's check in with Sam.
Guys, up until that last play, Justin Blackman was probably the most frustrated person on this Oklahoma State offense. Every time he came off the field, very boisterous, very demonstrative. He was the loudest, most vocal guy in the huddle right there. You almost knew they were going to come to him. Leonard Johnson, like you talked about, been getting in his face a little bit, started out giving him cushion, and then started pressing a little bit more. Started John maybe getting a little bit too overconfident there on that last play, guys. Justin Blackman, very happy guy now.
Well, Sam, you're right. I mean, that matchup is something Johnson wanted, and you know the competitor Blackman had had enough of it and wanted to get back at him.
35 touchdown catches in Blackman's last 23 games now. That was James White. Was forced out at the 31 by Sean Lewis. Lewis had that 70-yard interception return for a touchdown, first score of the night.
Yeah, the one he accidentally got to after lining up in the wrong place, being late getting over there. He ran right into a pick 6.
Second and 5, and Barnett's going to try to do it himself, and it'll make for a 3rd and 1. A flag does come in.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's Carter Bykowski, former tight end, who was converted to a right tackle.
He's been playing for Braden Burris, who's had a broken leg, been out most of the season for Iowa State.
So they'll bring that ball back to the 21-yard line.
You know, when we broke down tape on the Oklahoma State defense, you know, we noticed the zone read was effective against them. Screen passes effective against them.
Of course, the zone read, a big part of what Iowa State has been doing in recent weeks with Barnett at quarterback. 2nd and 15 now. Flag comes down immediately as he gets it to Darius Reynolds.
Offside. Defense, number 22. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It's a good night of action across all the networks tomorrow. 2nd and 10, and this is Barnett. Of course, Oregon USC, the 8 o'clock, the other ABC game at 8 o'clock. Oregon in position to host their first Pac-12 title game, which will be on December 2nd.
Tough environment up there for USC, cold weather, and in that stadium, Oregon is almost invincible.
And Robert Woods, not 100%, the star receiver for the Trojans. 3rd and 8 now for Barnett. Has time, but was unable to connect with Reynolds. Martin and Gilbert were there on the coverage. So the Iowa State offense trots off. And with 3:49, Brandon Whedon and that fast running offense of the Pokes will have the ball again. Josh Cooper back on the return. And Cooper fields it at the 18 and runs into his own man. Good hit about the 23. That was Nico Ornelas.
And credit him for
he got the worst of it.
That's his tackle.
The Heisman contender heated up on the last drive. We'll have another chance here before the half. They'll Pistol Pete and the cheerleaders hope to be surrounding that in January. It's the Coach's Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. It's going to be awarded to the winner of the All-State BCS National Championship game. Of course, that'll be on ESPN Monday, January 9th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The question is, who will be there? If LSU and Oklahoma State take care of business, they'll have a date, but a lot to be determined in those BCS standings.
And if one or two should stumble, then let the complaining begin, or let the lobbying begin for the one-loss teams.
You're never going to hear the end of it. Alabama and Oregon. Oklahoma, of course, will meet up with them in Bedlam in a couple weeks. And here is Whedon connecting again. And this time it is Anderson to the 29-yard line. All of a sudden, Brandon Whedon can't miss.
Yeah, and you know, about those one-loss teams, I think Reese Davis said it best. There is no right answer, and there is no perfect test, so people can use what they want to make their case and usually find some evidence for it.
Of course, Reese and the boys will have BCS Countdown Sunday at 8:15 on ESPN to reveal the new standings. 2nd and 3. Whedon again with time, and again with a completion to Justin Blackman, although a flag is down in the offensive backfield.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's Nick Martinez, who was the starting left tackle a year ago for Mike Gundy, and now the left guard.
Now watch Blackman. This is why, or one of the reasons why, he is a top-rated receiver coming out. He has a wide frame for catching the ball. Great radius. Inside, outside, high, low. Strong hands. He can reach up and pluck it out.
Sports Science did a piece on him this year. They claim he has the catching radius of a 2-car garage, Ron.
Wow.
Second and 13. Ball is batted in the air and falls incomplete, but Patrick Neal had a play on it.
Now, you see, when Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State in a couple weeks, they're going to put on this tape, and they're going to look at Whedon as that ball was tipped by Irving, and they're going to say, you know, we got to find a way to make him move his feet. He's not the same quarterback on the move. When he's on that spot in the pocket, unbeatable.
You picked up on that watching a lot of tape this week, and it's been proven true here in this first half. Loud crowd here in Ames for 3rd and 13. And dial up another first down with the strike to Josh Cooper all the way out to the 42-yard line.
He's got
a 23-yard reception.
Yeah, he's got guys who can make plays. Cooper, often compared to a Wes Welker type, can come up with big catches like he did there.
Often the go-to guy in critical spots for Whedon. Of course, this is the main man, Blackman, fighting out towards midfield. And Blackman limping off to the bench and then running it out.
You know, watching him before the game, we wondered if Oklahoma State passes the eye test. Oh. Yeah, they do. And that guy does.
First guy off any bus ride. 2nd and 3. First down past midfield to Josh Stewart. Let's go back and see what happened to Blackman at the end of this last play.
Well, he got up hopping like it was the left foot, left ankle. Might have been right there. And he was trying to run it off.
So they go on without him. And very deep at receiver are the Cowboys. Here's Cooper. Picks up a nice block inside the 40 and then runs out at the 35-yard line where the clock will stop with 1:46 to go in the half.
That was Chelf with the great block, the guy who made the great catch on a big third down to keep a drive going that they eventually got a touchdown out of.
One of the best catches we've seen in a while came from Chelf. 2nd and 2. And I'll bring up a 3rd and short. So Whedon had that one blemish with the interception. Here's what he's done at the various distances.
Yeah, he started warming up the more he completed the short passes, and then as the game wore on, he started to connect a bit on those longer passes.
And Justin Blackman has come back in. 3rd and 2 now. Jeremy Smith is going to try to pick it up, and he gets nothing. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Jake McDonough.
This defense is really playing well.
4th and 2, and Whedon and the offense will stay on the field at the 35.
Well, it's no man's territory. No problem with going for it here.
It's a pass on 4th and 2. And he overthrew Anderson. So Iowa State's defense, the turnover on downs with 1:01 to go in the half. Let's check in with the studio and Ryan Burr. Ryan? Thanks, Ryan. Remember what Paul Rhodes said, the Iowa State head coach. We want to survive in 10-minute chunks. We want to get to the half. Still in this game. That took a bounce as he was looking for Aaron Horn, but threw it well short, did Barnett.
Well, given that you gave up a pick 6 and you've got a freshman quarterback and you got nothing on that first play, I might just go ahead and tuck it in and go down, 10 points here. Just going at the halftime as it is. You wanted to be here. You're in the game. Why take the risk?
Instead, they pass. Pressure, so he tucks it, runs it, makes a move, and slides right near the sticks. First down now at the 45 as the clock will stop as they reset and then restarts. 2 timeouts for Iowa State, and that was thrown behind Aaron Horn.
So you have a quarterback, a freshman, who doesn't have the best accuracy, and you're in a hurry-up mode. His accuracy isn't going to get better in the hurry-up mode here.
No, you're just putting more pressure on him in a spot like this.
I think this is kind of risky. I think there's a point, though, where the clock, Rhodes is going to say, no, that's enough. We're going to take it in.
Second and 10 now. Barnett walks it downfield and overthrew Albert Gary.
You see, that's the accuracy problem. Gary needed to just go long. Once he saw his quarterback was in trouble, head off down the field, and Barnett needed to keep it in the field of play.
They only bring 3. Barnett scrambles, and he's going to be just short. Ball came out at the end, but he was down. And it looks like they're marking him just about a yard short here, as clock is down to 16 seconds before the timeout is called by Iowa State.
Rhodes showing an awful lot of confidence in his freshman quarterback here in this last 2-minute drive, trying to get something done. I think they'll go for it here on 4th down, but I'm impressed with the way the Iowa State defense has played in the first half.
I agree with you.
They've held number 2 down essentially offensively. It's been impressive, and a lot at stake for Oklahoma State.
I think there's a lot of things that if you said to Paul Roach yesterday, okay, here's how your defense would perform, here's some of the turnovers and situations you'd have, he would take it.
Yeah. Keep in mind,
10-point margin right now against number 2.
Keep in mind that Oklahoma State came into this ball game with an awful lot on their mind. Heavy hearts with the loss of Coach Butke and Coach Cerna.
This is a 4th and 1 with Barnett after the timeout, and they are able to pick it up with Jeff Woody. One timeout left. As the clock is running again, and he clocks it, leaving 8 seconds in the half.
Now, Rhodes is not happy with the way the clock went there. He thought he could save some time there and let the officials know how he was feeling about it. But
well, one of his linemen was still lingering on the other side of the line of scrimmage and a little late to get back and lined up.
Well, you got 8 seconds. You have 1 timeout. You probably need about 15 yards, maybe 20, to have a realistic shot at a field goal. You can run a route in that time, catch the ball, get down, call your timeout, and line up for a field goal.
Grant Mahoney, their senior kicker, has a 57-yarder in his career. And there is the shot, but it goes incomplete, leaving now just 3 seconds as Darius Darks could not come up with the completion.
I stopped counting. 5, 6 drops by the receivers tonight for Iowa State.
It's been that kind of a night.
Well, now it's just wind up and throw it as far as you can.
Some pressure on Barnett as he tries to launch it. And he actually gets it complete, but the clock has run out, and inside the 10 and unable to make a desperate effort for the goal line was Albert Gary. And a late flag comes in, and if this is on the defense, Ron,
half
cannot end on a defensive penalty, so this could be critical, this call right here. Remember, last play of the half cannot end on a defensive penalty.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 37. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced in the third quarter at the end of the first half.
Explain that to me, Rob.
It occurred after the play was over, not during the play. So since it was a dead ball foul, the half can end.
Because of the fact that it was the dead ball, they catch the break there.
Yeah, right there. Watch this. That's Elkins. He's the guy.
Meanwhile, the whistle had already blown.
Right. So the half was over. Play was done. They'll use the penalty in the third quarter.
A matter of just maybe a second and a half there, defining that. And you can see Paul Rhodes is looking for an explanation. So he's getting the same one that Rod Gilmore just gave the nation. Mike Gundy. Of course, such an emotional day for Mike Gundy and everybody involved with the Oklahoma State community. Let's check in with Sam Steele.
Coach, it seems so trivial to ask you about football right now, but all considering, how do you think your guys are responding to some early adversity?
Well, we didn't really move very fast in this half. We got to do a better job offensively at getting in a rhythm, and then defensively, we got to get a few 3-and-outs. You know, we just kind of got to get some energy and get things going.
What kind of message do you give to your team right now?
Well, they got to stay with the plan. You know, they got to continue to play hard, and we got to generate some energy and kind of move fast and play fast.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, Coach. Guys.
Thanks, Sam. 17-7. Number 2, Oklahoma State, with a bit of a test tonight here in Ames. Now let's join Ryan Burr back in the studio for the Dell halftime report. Well, Oklahoma State up 17-7 on a day when the Oklahoma State community suffered an unimaginable tragedy late last night, and they got the news today. Women's head basketball coach Kurt Budke and assistant coach Miranda Cerna were killed in a plane crash. They made the decision to play on. They did so with a heavy heart. And that first half, Rod, I don't think they quite looked the way we've seen them for most of the year. Yeah. What do you make of it?
I'd agree with that. Mike Gundy said that they didn't play with a lot of energy, and I can understand that after being somber and grieving all day. It's not a surprise.
267 yards out of Brandon Whedon, though, and a touchdown pass. And you get the sense when they do turn it on, boy, oh boy, they can slice up this defense, but Iowa State has played tough.
Well, you're absolutely right. Iowa State certainly played tough. Some miscues by Whedon early on. Throws one in the dirt here, but that defense did a nice job of stuffing the running attack. Oklahoma State got very little on the ground, and Whedon was off. Clearly overthrowing, throwing one on the ground. Then a great play by Blackman, which gave them their only offensive touchdown of the first half. A tremendous leap grab, continue on into the end zone. And that's been the first half offensively for Oklahoma State.
So Whedon and Blackman. Well, they start to connect here in the second half. Haven't seen much of the running game from Oklahoma State as well. And Cooper with a gain of 12. Let's check in with Samantha Steele.
Cautiously optimistic Paul Rhodes. Offensively, he said, we're missing opportunities. The opportunities are there. We've just got to convert. Specifically, our receivers cannot drop the ball. Guys, with Josh Lenz out for the rest of the night, that's going to be tough.
Cost them dearly in that first half. Whedon incomplete that time. Jared Barnett, as Sam alluded to, had a lot of decent throws that just weren't secured.
Well, what do we count? 6 drops or something like that in the first half, and that stalled out some drives for Iowa State. And on the other hand, Brendan Whedon, 24 of 31. He's thrown a few of them in the dirt, though, and also has a pick, but he can heat up in a hurry. He heated up late in the second quarter.
Became the school's all-time leader in passing yards in the first half. 2nd and 10 now. And they keep it on the ground with Joseph Randall, and he goes nowhere. And this Iowa State run defense came in ranked 104th in the country. And Randall has not gotten loose at all tonight.
Well, they haven't done anything really running the football. I mean, 20 yards rushing net in the first half for Oklahoma State. Now it's up to a whopping 21 yards.
See, Iowa State gives up over 200 yards on the ground a game. So 3rd and 9 for Whedon and the Cowboys.
Where's Blackman?
A first down is complete to Tracy Moore, and he gets it to the 42-yard line. Lots of time for Whedon. Looked through his options and picked out Tracy Moore.
Well, it's a little bit easier when 3 guys pay attention to Justin Blackman. And your other guys have got to get open when that's happening. Blackman drawing a lot of coverage, really acting as a good decoy for the others.
And that 27-yard touchdown catch in the first half did Blackman. Here's Randall now, and a big hole for Randall, and a gain of 9 for the sophomore running back. Paul Rhodes in his 3rd year at Iowa State. Gave Iowa State their first win ever against Texas. Gave them a win at Nebraska. And he'd love to give these fans a thrill here against number 2 Oklahoma State. And Randall utilizing that block in front from Nick Martinez with a run for a first down to the 30-yard line before he was tackled by A.J. Klein. Whedon to pass now on first down. And he overthrew the intended target of Tracy Moore.
Whedon likes to look for Blackman, but this is what's happening. Johnson playing man underneath coverage, handles him early on, and by the time Blackman breaks free, it's too late. Whedon had to go elsewhere.
It's been the best matchup we've seen tonight. Best defender for Iowa State against one of the best players in the country. 2nd and 10, and this is a strike to Moore again, and Moore keeps his footing and goes right into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma State.
What a throw by Whedon. He has a lot of confidence in that arm, and he drilled that one in there in between 3 receivers, 3 defenders. Now watch this. You see all the red shirts around. Whedon gets it in there. Not a whole lot of tackling.
Good job by Tracy Moore to keep his balance. He's a big guy, goes 6'1", 233. Dad played in the NBA. And he showed you his level of athleticism there as Oklahoma State takes the ball. Opening drive of the second half. Whedon connects with Moore. 8 plays, 80 yards, quick strike. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, Sam Steele back here at Jack Trice Stadium. The stadium bears the name of Iowa State's first African-American student athlete. Trice died from injuries suffered in a football game at Minnesota in 1923. So this stadium opened in '75 as Cyclone Stadium. And then there was popular support to rename it to Jack Trice Stadium. That happened officially in 1997 to honor Jack Trice.
Really sad reading that info, how internal injuries, which today could be handled, weren't handled in. But look at what they've done with attendance here. Fantastic.
Paul Rhodes very proud of that as Coach Rhodes, of the support he's been receiving from the fans. This is Jarvis West from the 1-yard line. And Jarvis West cuts back and has a lot of green in front of him. And out to midfield, a very good return from the 5'7", 160-pound redshirt freshman.
He'll give Barnett and company the shortest field they've had since that turnover in the first quarter when they didn't convert. And now they'll start at midfield. And Barnett has had stretches where he's been on the money throwing the football. But the best thing he's done is scramble and buy time.
Well, his running has been the best thing that they've seen out of him all year long. Had 125 yards against Kansas, had 92 yards against Texas Tech. But tonight relying on the pass a little more, and this ball is secured by Albert Gary.
Wow, nice catch by Gary, and one dangerous throw by Barnett when he got it in there. And now tempo, they're picking up the tempo. They need a score here. They need a touchdown to get back into the ball game.
Heisman contender Brandon Weeden came right down the field on the opening drive of this second half and found Tracy Moore to make the margin 17. Barnett looking downfield. Incomplete. Darius Reynolds could not hold on to it all the way through the catch. Broderick Brown had the coverage.
And that's the point. You made it very clearly. You've got to maintain control through coming to the ground.
Oh, I think they're going to have to take a look at this, Rod.
Well, did that ball hit the ground too?
But watch what Brown does at the end. Once he has the ball secure, he rips it away once they're on the ground.
Yeah, but from that angle, you cannot tell if the ball is protected from the ground.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The prior ruling is under further review.
Now, Rhodes has a smile on his face, but they're going to have to review this. Now, keep in mind that the call on the field is incomplete.
Right.
So they have to have the indisputable video evidence to reverse that.
Yeah, see, my question is, does the point of the ball touch the ground there so that you don't believe that there is control?
But does he have control prior to that? Full control and grasp of the ball, the two hands plus against his face mask.
Yeah, but you've got to have control through coming down.
Does he have control
and
at this
that's my
point?
question is right there. Is that control or because it's touched the ground? And I just don't think that's enough evidence to overturn the call. It looks to me like the nose of that ball touched the ground, and it's hard to say he had control all the way through the catch and hitting the ground.
And once again, the simple fact that the ball is touching the ground is not just the point here. Does he have control of the ball?
And typically you like to see the hands underneath the ball to show control. In this case, his hands are on the side of the ball, and you've got a nice portion of it that seems to come in contact with the ground. So if it were me, my guess would be on this that you don't have enough to overturn that call.
But are you saying that simply because of what it was ruled on the field?
Yes, I am.
If you were judging this not knowing what was already ruled on the field, which way would you go?
If I were looking at it clean and new, I'd be inclined to call it a catch. But
likewise.
Yeah, but to overturn it with what we see here, I think that's a bit much. I think that's going to be tough for our replay official to do that.
Our replay official is Ed Kinetic. And you can see the guys in the production truck, and they're on the horn with their crew down on the field. Reggie Smith giving them every look they can get to clarify things here. We'll see what they come up with.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Now, the ruling on the field stands means that there was not indisputable evidence to reverse the call.
Well, and I think it's exactly what we were talking about. There is a point of the football that touched the ground, and it's hard to say conclusively that there was control because of that. And that's why the call was not overturned.
Nor was the call on the field confirmed. They're just saying it stands, which means they didn't have the video evidence. And Jarvis West will be about a yard short of moving those sticks, so it'll bring up a third down.
Well, West has provided a bit of a spark, and now he gives them a short third down. They've got 2 downs to pick this up here. I think you have to use 2 downs.
And a quick snap, and they are able to pick it up with Jeff Woody. So Iowa State on the move here, a first down at the 27-yard line.
This is a huge drive for Iowa State. You get a touchdown here, you answer, you keep the pressure on Oklahoma State.
Brandon Weeden looks on, the Heisman candidate, who already has a very quiet 334 and 2 touchdowns. That's tough to say, but it can happen with Oklahoma State's offense. West now comes around, but they keep it with Barnett, and he has to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage, where he was tackled by Rashedi Jones. Jones was a big-time recruit. You see the quarterback comparison. Remember, a week ago, Brandon Weeden's job was done in the third quarter against Texas Tech. He left that game with 423 yards and 5 touchdowns and surged to the head of the Heisman projections this week. And there was motion up front with
Full start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Hayward Hicks, who's all of 340 pounds.
Hard to miss him when he jumps like that. And that's a tough penalty down here. This team struggling to hang on to the ball when they put it in the air. They've had, what, 6 or 7 drops. They need big plays.
2nd and 15. White in motion. And they keep it with James White, and James White to the outside, and James White inside the 10. Touchdown, Cyclones! Right back to a 10-point game. James White keeping hope alive here in Ames. Well, perhaps these last 2 steps towards a BCS title game aren't so easy. Iowa State just closest margin to 10.
Right play against the wrong defense. Watch the middle linebacker go out. Watch the force guy come up. That's going to create a big hole. And with that, now you've got lots of room and good blocking down the field by the wide receivers opening up. But a great job at the point of attack, recognizing that the linebacker was flying out in pass coverage, and they were able to kick the force man outside.
6-play drive. Remember, they had that big 50-yard kickoff return that put them in prime field position, and capped by James White. And they go with the onside kick. Can you believe that?
They caught Oklahoma State asleep.
Jeremy Reeves on special teams. Right on top of it. And what guts and timing by head coach Paul Rhodes.
Perfectly executed with a great block by Jansen Watson, the defensive back who took out the first guy, Grant Montgomery, who could have been there.
So now's the moment to take advantage for the Cyclones. Barnett takes a strike, and that ball is hauled in by Albert Gary. Wow, something special in the air here in Ames right now.
Well, we talked about the need to make plays, big plays. And now you see a wide receiver in Gary, the guy who was suspended at the beginning of the season, coming in and stepping it up.
And remember, this is a redshirt freshman quarterback. He's a runner, not a thrower. Just the 3rd time he's ever started in his career. But Barnett playing with some confidence now. And that ball is off the hands of Reynolds. And they're keeping Brandon Whedon off the field.
Well, if they keep dropping passes, Whedon will be right back out there in a hurry. 7 drops tonight.
As you said earlier, best defense you can play against Whedon and Blackman. Keep them with their helmets off. 2nd and 10 now. Barnett, diving effort goes incomplete as Darks was stretching out for it.
You want to count that as drop number 8?
Now that was a tough one out of bounds there. 3rd and 10 now for Barnett and the Cyclones after they went with the onside kick.
Not a bad time for Barnett to buy time with his feet. He's going to be facing thick coverage back there.
3 receivers to the near side. Reynolds up top on 3rd and 10. Pressure, steps up, gonna try to do it on his own. He's got it with ease inside the 15. Ball comes loose. And we will see, yes, indeed. Alex Elkins recovers the fumble. Barnett had the first down, going for a little extra, and coughed it up.
Tried to do too much. He had the first down. The ball is knocked out by Thomas and clearly recovered inbounds by Elkins. You like for your quarterback to get down. That's just a lack of maturity. He's a redshirt freshman. He had the first down.
Onside kick. Had the first down. Was going inside the 10, and then that. Meanwhile, the whistle blows here.
Prior to the snap, the previous play is under further review.
So they want to go back and take a look at the fumble.
I don't think the fans are going to be happy with the result. I mean, the first question is, was he down? And the answer is no.
No,
the second
he's
question
Superman in midair at that point.
Yeah, second question, did they have possession in bounds? And from that angle, the ball was grabbed in bounds, and Elkins' jersey didn't touch out of bounds until after he had possession of it, control over it.
Watch Alex Elkin, number 37, the linebacker.
That's a really good job.
Elkin's a great story, by the way. A kid who didn't play football until he went to junior college. He was playing rugby growing up. Then he went to Blinn Junior College, the same place that produced Cam Newton. And now he's gone on to be a starting linebacker at Oklahoma State.
Well, wasn't he going to be a quarterback at Blinn?
He said to the coaches when he walked in, I want to play college football. They said, what position do you play? He said quarterback. The next day, a guy by the name of Cameron Newton came to town. He wasn't a quarterback for long.
End of that story.
Cam led Blinn to the national title in junior college as we wait on the call here, which should be
confirmed
as a fumble recovery.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
And once again, the difference between when you hear that the play stands and confirmed. Confirmed means that the video evidence absolutely confirms that the ruling on the field is correct. Thus the first down at the 4-yard line for Oklahoma State.
Well, they've gotten it right on the field tonight and in the booth. And another red zone turnover for Iowa State.
Yeah, mark that one down. Oh, a could have been swing moment in this game. And staying on the ground is Randall, and great pursuit and a tackle for loss as A.J. Klein was all over Joseph Randall.
This is also the loudest it's been here all night. This is going to be a tough third down for Wheaton because it is very, very loud at that end.
Now, number 2 is in town with a BCS title game on the line. Second and 11 now. Whedon from his end zone, incomplete. It'll make for a third. Oh, and a flag came in late.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. Start of the foul. Automatic first down.
So that's the breathing room for Oklahoma State. Look at that right hand.
Yeah, it's a good call. And again, I talk to the officials every week, and before the game, again, we went over that one. When that hand is up high, they will flag you. You can put your hand on the receiver down around the hip. You can put it on the back. When you turn him or you get the hand up high, they are more likely to flag you.
First down for Oklahoma State. They go with the screen game, and Cooper with just 2 yards that time.
How about the energy that Iowa State is playing with defensively? They understand this is a critical moment. They've got Oklahoma State backed up, and they are flying around.
And remember, 7 of those 24 points were scored by the Oklahoma State defense. This is a team that's averaging 51 points a game. They just put up 66 last week on Texas Tech, but Iowa State doing a decent job here tonight. 2nd and 8. Here's Joseph Randall, picks up a block and has a first down. Still on his feet and forces his way to the 25 where the ball comes loose and Iowa State recovers. Leonard Johnson with the fumble recovery. Randall was fighting for extra yards and it cost him.
Another guy doing too much. He had the first down. He's trying to fight for more. He's wrapped up by 3, and that's when the stripping begins. And Latimer is the one who stripped it out. I tell you, this Iowa State defense just will not quit. They will not give up.
Well, this has been a wacky sequence the past couple minutes. The onside kick, the fumble inside the 10 by Iowa State, and now right back on the field after the fumble by Oklahoma State. And the inside handoff this time as James White gets down to the 22-yard line. Remember, White had the 32-yard touchdown run that closed this margin to 10.
You have guys who've made plays for Iowa State. Johnson just made one.
Right now you got a lot of Alabama and Oregon fans and all these other one-loss wannabe BCS title teams rooting on the Cyclones.
Not Oklahoma.
No, they need Oklahoma State to stay alive and then get them in Bedlam. And this will bring up a 3rd and about 3.5 as Rashedi Jones and Ryan Robinson combined on the tackle of White.
Oklahoma wants an undefeated Oklahoma State team to show up, and Oklahoma wants to beat them and then say, hey, we're the best one-loss team out there.
3rd and 4. Iowa State has had their opportunities. Barnett. First down. Jarvis West. A little shake and bake. And it will be 1st and goal for Iowa State.
Nice move. Nice job. One other thing. Protect the football. You got to get that ball away from where the defenders are coming. Right hand, switch it over to the left hand. He doesn't do it. He was vulnerable to the very end when he covered it up.
Daquan Lowe, defensive back, starting free safety for Oklahoma State. The intended to by the medical staff.
Well, he's been in there for Johnny Thomas.
Now they're a little banged up at that free safety position. Dion Amadei is not playing tonight. He's dealing with an injury, and this is a guy in Lowe who has elevated to starter status.
Yeah, so Craig will probably move over. Zach Craig will move over to the free safety spot. Martin is really an outstanding free safety playing at the other spot, number 10. He's an NFL prospect.
1st and goal. Number 2 team in the country being tested here on the road.
That guy Johnson's had himself a night. He's played well at that corner spot.
Fumble recovery moments ago, giving Iowa State a 2nd chance after they had fumbled in the same part of the field.
He's got Reynolds on the bottom, likely in single coverage.
That's number 7, bottom of your screen. Had a touchdown catch earlier. Quarterback runs, spins out of it, does Barnett, and gets to the 5, and a flag comes in.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Hicks is having a tough night. That's at least his 2nd penalty in this half.
This Oklahoma State defense is used to having the offense jump up so big to put them in a unique spot of just getting after quarterbacks time and time again. Now they got to be stout in spots like this. So 1st and goal all the way back to the 19-yard line after the holding. Option to the far side, and Barnett can't go anywhere at all. He lost 1.5 yards. Caleb Levy with the tackle. The first-year starter at middle linebacker.
Yeah, he just ran right through the gap. No one blocked him at all. He just used his speed to get right in there.
So it'll be 2nd and goal all the way back at the 21. Barnett is away from the pressure and then able to connect with James White. But it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line.
Accuracy is so important. Had that ball been out in front just a little bit, White keeps running.
Right.
Because he had to stop and turn for the ball, that gave Levy, was it Levy? No, it was Elkins who made the tackle. That gave Elkins the chance to make the play.
Because it was thrown to the inside rather than the outside.
Correct.
So instead it sets up now a 3rd and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Barnett has time over the middle and incomplete. And a flag does come in.
He was trying to go to Horn there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. Follow the foul. Automatic first down.
Now that's the freshman, Masalera, who's in playing free safety because of the injuries that we just documented moments ago.
Yeah, he made full contact early on Reynolds. Kept the hand down low, but you can't run through the guy.
1st and goal now. Design quarterback run. Only about 1.5 yards as Markel Martin was able to tackle Jared Barnett.
This team operates best when they're spreading people out. And that time they didn't. I tell you, I think they'd be better off spreading out down here, creating some room for Barnett. If you're going to run him, spread it out. Don't power formation down here.
Brandon Whedon just waiting on the sidelines for his turn, hoping his defense can come up big now. Barnett batted down. And it was Anthony Rogers who put his hand up there.
Well, he's not the tallest quarterback, just about 6 feet, but a nice job by Rogers sliding into that window and slamming it shut.
Another 3rd and goal.
Well, you want Barnett to be able to move. You got to get him out of the pocket. You can't keep him back there. Expect pressure. Oklahoma State brings pressure on 3rd down.
White leaves the backfield empty now. 3-by-2. Barnett to the end zone. Incomplete. Defended by Martin. As he was looking for the seldom used tight end, Kurt Hammerschmidt.
Yeah, fortunate it wasn't picked off. And he threw that ball right in there. Martin is right there and makes a good play on it. Martin had that thing right between the numbers and could have snuffed out any scoring opportunity.
So Zach Geyer comes in on the field goal attempt. This from 24. He missed from 34 earlier. And we've got a touchdown game with major BCS title implications. That's the famed Hickory Park restaurant here in Ames, Iowa, right next to Iowa State, where the meat is smoked for up to 14 hours a night. They go through 23 pounds of meat per week. And yet somehow, Rod Gilmore, you went there and you had what?
I had a fish sandwich.
You're the guy.
I was the guy. I'm that guy.
You're the guy that you say, who would order this at this place? Meanwhile, Sam Steele put down that big banana split sundae.
Oh, she had
with the fish sandwich.
Well, she had the brisket sandwich or something, and then the big ice cream fudge brownie or something.
And I'm the fool sitting in my room working on games.
We called you. we tried to wake you up.
We got a good one here. And this is Josh Stewart on the return for Oklahoma State all the way out to the 39-yard line. Let's check in with Ryan Burke. 24-17, the view from the hill here at Jack Trice Stadium. Number 2 in the country in a tough one against the upset-minded Cyclones. Brandon Whedon Here's Justin Blackman. Blackman a little stiff arm and a gain of 7. Rod, Iowa State has run 19 more plays than Oklahoma State. They've had plenty of opportunities tonight.
Great strategy. Keep your offense on the field. Keep Oklahoma State and Whedon off the field. And you're Whedon. This is your time now. You're a Heisman Trophy candidate. Your team's in a battle on the road. It's your time.
And that is incomplete. Justin Blackman, one of the most dynamic players in all of college football.
Has not been dominant tonight.
Not at all. Good effort by Leonard Johnson, the starting cornerback for Iowa State. And this place is rocking. Third and 3. Off the mark. Whedon threw it behind Tracy Moore.
Yeah, I think he misread the coverage. I don't think he realized that they were sitting back there with A.J. Klein flying over. I don't think he expected that at all. He was robbing the inside, Klein was, and he managed to tip that ball. I don't think
Klein's had a good game.
Oh, yeah.
He has had a good night.
Well, you're hard-pressed to find anybody on this Iowa State defense that hasn't played fantastic.
Quinn Sharp, one of the better punters in the country, but he doesn't get a chance often. And this takes a bounce inside the 10. And did they save it? Oklahoma State special teams comes up huge. The ball downed at the 1-yard line.
Well, they did a great job of not falling for the decoy action by the punt returner. And it's Hale, 39, who gets down there to knock the ball back in without getting his body in. And remember, it's about the ball. It's not about your body.
And then Justin Gilbert able to secure it down there. So Iowa State gets the ball, only trailing by 7, but pinned. And just trying to create a little breathing space is Barnett, and the flag is in there.
You know, we have to keep in mind there is a freshman quarterback working with a freshman center.
That's right.
Offside. Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty.
Now that does it for him. As Mike Gundy's team creates space for Iowa State. You know, offensive coordinator Tom Herman was quick to point out, makes you a little nervous when you have the first-year center and the first-year quarterback. Two guys touching the ball on every play. But they've been solid and steady tonight. Tom Farniok and Barnett. 1st and 5 now. Woody on the gain of 3.
All week we talked about what we saw on tape. How Kansas State, Texas A&M, they were all able to run the ball against Oklahoma State. They were able to use the zone read. They were able to throw screens against them. We weren't surprised that Iowa State would try and do that.
2nd and 2 now. Woody again, and he spins for the first down. So the special teams effort of downing the punt at the 1, and Iowa State able to get a first down out to the 12-yard line.
Digging out of that hole was huge for Iowa State. Can they sustain a drive now? Can they pick up another first down with a little bit more operating room? Can Barnett be more accurate throwing the football?
Start to think about what Paul Rhodes said about we just need to survive in 10-minute chunks against the number 2 team in the country. Doug Hollis now, gain of about 2.5. Forget survive. They're about to have this thing head towards the 4th quarter, only trailing by 7.
And still, in order to get it done and put pressure on Oklahoma State, they've got to complete passes.
Defensive coordinator Bill Young. His defense has been at times giving up chunks of yards this season, but always able to rely on the turnovers. 2nd and 7. Barnett First down again for Iowa State. That was Broderick Brown coming after Barnett at the end.
Yeah, looks like he went a little bit of head hunting there. But good job of Barnett learning from his last fumble to get down after he has what he needs.
So now a first down out to the 24. Keeps it himself, and this time struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage as Jamie Blatnick was staying with him.
Well, fans are upset. They wanted a face mask call.
Looks like that hand was towards the top of the helmet.
Yeah, it was right at the end there. Blatnick with the left hand. Now, that's part of the face mask. When you get the top of it, that is a face mask penalty.
We just brought up Tom Farniok, the starting center, who's a redshirt freshman. Coaches think he's a future star, and he is slow to get up. He's played a decent game tonight. You know, that was taken on the quality of a boxing weigh-in.
I know.
The other day as they got ready for the finale of NASCAR Sprint Cup. That will be Sunday at 2 Eastern on ESPN. I'm really looking forward to that race. Of course, we got a big Saturday of college football before that, and we got just over 15 minutes of what could be a thriller here in Ames with the BCS title on the line. Oh, what a completion, and then an extra effort from Darius Darks.
Oh man, circus catch.
Well, it takes plays like that if you want to stay in games like this.
Well, especially with Josh Lynn's out of the game, their most reliable receiver, you need guys like Darks to make catches like that. Quarterback likes it.
Sam Tuatolo now playing center for the Cyclones, and Barnett's having a big night considering just his third start. Play action now. Look at the time he has. And then lofts it, and it goes incomplete as he was trying to find Reed Brandhorst. And Branderhorst, it's the first time he's looked his way tonight.
See, I think Barnett's rule there has got to be to take off. He's got to find a way to run down the field. You don't need him at this stage in his career trying to find his third or fourth option. He's got such good running skills. You want him to take off.
This is a guy who back in preseason practice was number 4 on the quarterback depth chart. And that time he slipped as he pulled it out of the belly of James White. As the final 13 seconds of the third quarter will count down. Could it be one of those special nights? Iowa State will face a third down, only trailing by a touchdown against number 2 when we start the fourth. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa. Joe Tessitore alongside Rod Gilmore and Samantha Steele. The number 2 team in the country, Oklahoma State. Only up 7 as we start the fourth quarter. Iowa State facing a 3rd and 10. They've run 25 more plays than the Cowboys. They've had the ball for nearly 11 more minutes. Barnett to pass on 3rd and 10. And that's going to be short of the line to make as he was able to get it complete to James White.
But this has been a good drive for Iowa State. They started at their 1-yard line. Now they can flip the field. They can give Oklahoma State a long field, and the way their defense has been playing, they should have more energy because of this. They've had some rest.
Colton Shelf and Josh Cooper back for the Vanderkamp punt. And that is fielded by Shelf, and he spins his way to the 20-yard line. Great teamwork is brought to you by Russell Athletics.
Well, this Iowa State defense has provided great teamwork, really shutting down the running game for Oklahoma State. By and large, they've had a great night defensively against Justin Blackman. They forced a couple of turnovers as well. Whedon has thrown a pick, has been off a couple of times throwing the football. This defense has come up with plays to keep Iowa State in the ball game. They've only given up 17 points.
Well, you're watching this game, you probably feel like you've seen very little of Brandon Whedon, yet he's thrown for 343 and 2 touchdowns. Whedon now. And right back to work, a first down to Josh Cooper. Brandon Whedon, the 28-year-old, the Heisman contender who surged to the top of Heisman projections this week after his 5-touchdown effort against Texas Tech, and the loss by Stanford as Andrew Luck was #1 all year long in most of those projections.
Well, and I think this is what he wants. You know, games on his shoulders, on his right arm.
Play action now. And this is Staley, and the fullback Staley, who has resurrected his career with a first down. So Brandon Whedon, he was just lingering along when it came to talk of the Heisman Trophy, but in recent weeks, the big spike all the way to #1 in the official polling of Heisman voters at ESPN.
It seemed like that was more to do with what Andrew Luck didn't do.
Absolutely.
Than what Whedon did do.
Such was the case with Trent Richardson, too, with the loss to LSU. And Whedon with a strike this time as he connects with Tracy Moore. And now here he is in the fourth quarter. You put him back on the field, and he gets into that rhythm.
Well, he's got an opportunity to really start to win over some Heisman voters performing like this.
Justin Blackmon, a stiff arm, and then getting out to that first down stick.
One big problem Whedon has is that he's not the best player on his team.
You like Justin Black?
Well, I'm not the only one.
Right.
A lot of people like Justin Black. And that's the hardest thing. He's got to overcome the fact that that guy is a top 8 pick and a go-to guy.
First down at the 44. Don't blink on this offense. They come down the field in a flash. Whedon checking at the line. Smith in the backfield with him. A little bit of pressure. They pick it up. Whedon, that was batted and intercepted. Leonard Johnson comes up huge.
Gets a hand on this, and Johnson, who's had the game of his life at corner, comes up with a pick on Blackmon.
Fourth quarter, and Iowa State has the ball, only trailing by 7 after the interception by that guy, Leonard Johnson.
Well, watch Latimer and Johnson go to work. And this is a nice play. Latimer will get his hand up and will actually tip this ball right here. And now look at the coverage down there. Johnson is all over Blackmon, nowhere to go. He's in perfect position once that ball is tipped to go make the pick.
Brandon Whedon talking things over with the offense. 2 interceptions on the night for Whedon. And now from the 28-year-old Heisman contender to the 19-year-old, just a third-time starter in Jared Barnett. Barnett, he gets it complete. And Gary has it to the 45. It'll be 2nd and 5.
You have to believe Paul Rhodes wants his quarterback to use his feet. They want to stay out of 3rd and long.
Rhodes talked about needing the turnovers. Oklahoma State entered the game leading the nation in turnover margin at +18, -2 in that turnover margin tonight. Barnett, calm and cool, just checking and looking over as the play clock is down to 6. Downfield strike is incomplete. He was looking for Jarvis West. The coverage came from Justin Gilbert.
Here's the situation they'd like to avoid. 3rd and 5. And you have a quarterback who has really good feet, but his accuracy comes and goes. And this is where you need your accuracy to fit that ball in the tight window that you're probably going to get with this coverage here.
If the play breaks down, you know he can do it with his legs. That's where he's at his best. 3rd and 5 now. Almost intercepted, batted away that time, as it was James Thomas who made a play on the ball, and the punt team will come onto the field.
Well, they dropped 8 into coverage, and they wanted to see if he had the accuracy to find a window with 8 guys in coverage. That's really tough on a lot of quarterbacks, and a redshirt freshman who doesn't have the greatest accuracy, that's tough, really tough.
Kirby Vanderkamp on to punt, and Josh Cooper settles in back at the 15. And he calls for the fair catch there, where he secures it. And a flag is down at midfield.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 19. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick, first down.
So that'll push Mike Gundy's squad back a little further. Building a Program is brought to you by Craftsman, as you see the high water mark of 10-0. First time in school history that Oklahoma State's been 10-0.
Well, look, from 2008 on, I think that's great coaching, because Gundy didn't allow his ego to get in the way of hiring good offensive coordinators to help him boost up the offense when he himself was an offensive mind.
He's always had great coaches like Dana Holgorsen and Larry Fedora, who's now at Southern Miss, Tim Beckman, who's at Toledo. There's Jeremy Smith, and now look at that Iowa State defense firing off. As you see A.J. Klein pumping things up a bit.
Yeah, 42 yards rushing on the night for Oklahoma State. That's not enough to get it done. That puts a lot more pressure on Whedon.
And Rod, this Iowa State run defense is not known for this kind of an effort.
No.
And productivity.
Winning up front.
2nd and 10. Awful loud here in Ames. Here's Whedon from his end zone. Gets it complete. Moore fighting for that line, but comes up short as Taryn Benton came in with the tackle. So it'll be a 3rd down and about 1.5 yards.
Well, notice the change. They had to roll out Whedon. Whedon almost never rolls out. They rolled him out in order to be able to make an unobscured throw there.
Stadium is shaken, as you can see by that camera, for 3rd and 2. And we're going to get a timeout called by Mike Gundy and the Cowboys. And we will take a timeout with them as Paul Rhodes is looking for a big stop here. Great atmosphere here in Ames. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, and Samantha Steele with you as number 2 has been tested all night long, and now Oklahoma State faces a 3rd and 2. Whedon to pass, pumps, lofts, and a flag came down back at the line of scrimmage, so they're going to bring this back as there was motion.
Prior to the snap, full start, offense, number 14, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's the tight end, Justin Horton, but this stadium has just been rocking this whole 4th quarter.
Well, Iowa State would have preferred the play, because Johnson made a nice play, was all over Blackman, got his head around and got that ball out of bounds.
What a night for Leonard Johnson, the senior quarterback. Toughest matchup he'll ever had, and he's acing it. 3rd and 7 now. There is Blackman, the All-America wide receiver. Whedon. Oh, and he goes right to him. Wow. And it'll be a 1st down out to the 39-yard line.
What a throw. Corner route, great route by Blackman, getting inside to work to the outside to get on top of Johnson, and that ball is in the only place it could be.
That is a big-time throw.
Are you kidding me?
By Brandon Whedon. On the money, like a strike, all the way downfield for a 1st down.
And that was good coverage.
Whedon now rolling to the near side and finding Cooper, and Cooper crosses midfield. Cooper is grossly underrated, and a late flag comes in there, Ron. This is a guy that can really make some plays for this offense.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 73, 15-yard penalty, it's first down.
Little something extra from the right tackle, Adcock. So at the end of the play, he gets tagged with the 15-yarder.
Yeah, he's a player who's highly rated by the scouts, listed as one of the top 5 offensive tackles, projected as a first-round or early second-round pick.
Perhaps the best offensive lineman in the conference. So end of the play, then they bring it back. So it's marked at the 40-yard line as a first down. 1st and 10 from the 40. Oklahoma State trying to get through these last 2 games. And once again, he goes to Josh Cooper.
Hey, Tess, let's go back to that penalty. Take a look right up here. That's where you're going to see Adcock take a cheap shot at the end of the play. He actually retaliates, but because of the good flop out there,
what a flop,
he gets flagged. It's pretty good wrestling acting. Or soccer, if you like.
Whedon on another first down pass attempt, this time out of the backfield and incomplete, as Smith was unable to hold on to it.
This offense has only put up 17 points tonight. They got another score on a pick 6 from Sean Lewis. And the running game has been non-existent.
2nd and 10. Whedon connects with Blackman. It'll make for a 3rd and 6.
Well, these are the plays you have to have, and they will rely on Whedon and Blackman, your playmakers, your superstars. This is their time, 3rd and 6.
Incomplete. Smith snuck out of the backfield. Whedon threw it to the side of him, and it's 4th down, and the punting team is coming on with 9:08 to play.
May not ever see that again. Whedon had him wide open and just flat out missed him, moving his feet. Once again, when you make Whedon move his feet, his accuracy really drops. He couldn't go out there because Johnson smothered Blackman.
Horn calls for the fair catch, and a nervous moment there, I'm sure, as he falls backwards with the ball at about the 11-yard line. Only trailing by 7. They've got the ball again. The unlimited action coming up this weekend is brought to you by Sprint.
Oregon gets USC at home, and Oregon is certainly rooting for Iowa State to pull off the upset. Oklahoma, Baylor tomorrow. Oklahoma's rooting for Oklahoma State to pull this out.
Think about what you just said. Oklahoma is rooting for Oklahoma State. So those 2 games, Oregon, USC, and Oklahoma, Baylor, 8 o'clock on ABC. If they're not in your area, they're on ESPN3. And James White is gobbled up for no gain.
Now Oklahoma needs Oklahoma State to show up in Bedlam undefeated.
Yes.
So that if Oklahoma knocks them off, Oklahoma can lay claim to being the best one-loss team out there.
They got to get through a very talented Baylor offense tomorrow night first. And right now, Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State are worried about this one. Barnett, 2nd and 10. They go with this screen, and West cuts back and picks up the first down. Jarvis West. They've been getting him involved tonight. Remember, Josh Lenz, who leads the team in receptions, was injured early, so they've been turning to the 5'7" redshirt freshman.
Well, he's come in and he's picked up 4 catches, and he had a kick return that put them in great field position. He's had a big night in a limited role.
So a first down to the 23 now. An improbable 4th quarter setting. Barnett, pressure up the middle, escapes it, launches it downfield. And it is incomplete. Chris Young was the intended target. He came back for the ball, but Justin Gilbert was menacing there.
And the pressure is mounting on Oklahoma State. This is a good play over there on the left side by Gilbert, getting his right hand in there. But this Oklahoma State defense is now playing under stress. They're the #2 team. Their offense has not been what it has been all season, and the defense has to make plays.
Second and 10. Barnett complete, and a first down as once again Darius Reynolds, and they're saying the ball came loose at the end, but the officials say otherwise. Oklahoma State was arguing for it as Broderick Brown came up with the ball.
Well, you know what they do? They practice this in practice. After a pass is completed, they continue to work and get the ball out and then sprint the other way. That's their pick six practice along with their strip drills.
Yeah, they do a turnover circuit. They double whistle in practice to promote fighting for the ball. Reynolds now on the screen, and he's out to the 42. And that was close to being a 15-yarder, but then Alex Elkins had the smarts enough to say, I got to let go of him here.
Again, this Oklahoma State defense has not had to protect a lead except for that Kansas State game.
Second and 4 now. Jared Barnett, just the third time he has even started in his career. A guy who was really nowhere realistically on the depth chart in fall camp. Could he lead the way here? Inside handoff to James White. And another first down.
166 yards rushing for Iowa State tonight. They're just the latest team to run the ball against this defense effectively.
So many across the country, Alabama fans and Oregon fans, wanting utter chaos in the BCS if Oklahoma State grabs a loss here. Barnett complete again. Aaron Horn, and how about the confidence now in Jared Barnett, Ron?
Well, you feel it in the crowd. You feel it, you sense it, you hear it. And the poise of Barnett on this first down throw, a lot of confidence in the heart of the defense. And this might be his best throw of the night.
Pressure off the edge, spins away from it. And threw it to the inside of Darius Darks.
They did a good job to just get back out to the edge and avoid the sack, as Bill Young got tired of seeing Barnett stand back there and came with pressure and might come with more of it again now.
There is Bill Young, the veteran defensive coordinator. Second and 10. The young quarterback. They go with the inside screen, and good blocking in front for Albert Gray. They are all the way down to the 24-yard line.
You and I talked about it all week. We've seen lots of teams effectively throw the screen against Oklahoma State and run the ball inside.
Screen again. Good block in front again. And another first down for Iowa State.
Now Young will heat them up. He will bring more pressure closer he gets to the goal line.
6-minute mark in this game. He keeps it himself inside the 10. Sean Lewis and Levy were able to get to Barnett, but they are knocking on the door. Paul Rhodes said to us yesterday, if they play their A game and we play our game, they're going to win. But something special is in the air here, and to the end zone. Touchdown! Albert Gary, special indeed.
Another well-thrown ball. And a tremendous catch by Gary as he came on the crossing route to find the opening in the defense.
They are going to review this catch.
Well, I don't think there's any question that this is a touchdown. It would take an awful lot to overturn this. He gets his hands underneath and rolls over. I don't think there's any way. I think actually they will confirm this call. They will see evidence that he caught the ball. It didn't hit the ground. He maintained control and possession. The fact that he rolled over was perfect. It gave a perfect angle that he had possession the entire time.
Ed Kinetic, the replay official on this crew. This has been a wild second half. Take a look as we zoom in. You be the judge. Does he secure this with the hand underneath? You see that left hand underneath the ball.
Yeah, and he rolls over. What a reaction you'll get from the crowd when they hear this.
Well, the stadium has been shaking for the better part of this half.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And senior kicker Zach Geyer has not missed an extra point. And this attempt to tie the game against the #2 team in the country with BCS title hopes. He punched it through. We have a tie game with 5.5 minutes to play. Can you believe this? Jared Barnett, the redshirt freshman, is playing like a star. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, Samantha Steele here in Ames, Iowa, where a stunning comeback by Iowa State has Jack Trice Stadium rocking.
They talk about key plays that could have helped Iowa State. There was a missed field goal in the first quarter, and then the pick six by Sean Lewis when he was out of position, and then he ran across the field to get back to his spot. He came up with the play of the game, probably.
Isaiah Anderson from the 6. And he is taken down at the 24. Sam?
Guys, this Iowa State sideline is echoing that of the Iowa State crowd right now. It is absolutely electric. They 100% believe they can win this game, but they're exhausted. Center Tom Barniak was over here throwing up, guys. I don't know another way to put it, but they are just gassed. They're giving everything they can right now.
Well, I think this stat will explain it. They've had 93 plays tonight. Oklahoma State has only had 65. And now Brandon Whedon, the Heisman candidate, with 450 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight, but also 2 interceptions, has his moment to shine. Randall is just blown up. Dion Broomfield just came after him. Second and 9. Whedon, downfield, well overthrown, looking for Justin Blackman as Leonard Johnson again with stride for stride.
Leonard Johnson has made himself some money tonight. As you take a look at those numbers for Whedon, 2 picks tonight to go with the 2 touchdowns, but that man, projected as a 4th round, 5th round pick, has really moved himself up with his performance against Blackman tonight.
What a showcase evening for Leonard Johnson, who had that interception earlier in this 4th quarter. And now A big 3rd and 9. Whedon throws short, and tackled short is Isaiah Anderson by Jake Knott. They're going to punt it away with 4.5 minutes to play.
That was a very difficult set of plays for Brandon Whedon. You're the Heisman front runner. You're in a tie ball game. You're number 2. You're on the road. You got to get a first down. You got to move the football.
Quinn Sharp has one of the biggest legs in the country. And he drives Aaron Horn back to the 17. Horn keeps on his feet and then settles in at about the 35. Let me tell you something. If Iowa State pulls this off, utter chaos. I'm going to throw these BCS standings into a blender. And that's going to be a loss of 4 yards that time.
That last drive, Barnett was 7 of 9 for 80 yards and a TD. And that was a 12-play drive, 89 yards. Took over 3.5 minutes. That kind of a drive now would create chaos in the BCS.
2nd and 14. Empty backfield, Barnett in the gun. Intercepted. Alex Elkins. Late flag comes in on that tackle. But remember, turnovers, it's what they do.
And this one was high over the middle. And then it was tipped. It was tipped by Jarvis West. He got one hand on it.
Return, personal foul, horse collar tackle, offense number 75, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So tack on 15 because of the horse collar at the end of this.
Yeah, West tipped it, Lewis tipped it, and then it was picked off by Elkins. And you see the horse collar at the end there.
And now the ball just served up on a platter for Oklahoma State. They have probably the most talented place kicker in the country in Quinn Sharp to go along with the combination of Whedon and Blackman in this dangerous offense. They keep it on the ground with Smith, and Jeremy Smith slides there at the 25-yard line.
Well, they are already in field goal range here.
Well, let me tell you something. That guy's leg, Quinn Sharp, he's got a cannon for a leg.
He's in range when he steps on the field.
Indeed. So Barnett can only look on as Whedon tries to keep his team undefeated and in line for a possible BCS title. Nothing doing that time as Smith was wrapped up by A.J. Klein, who's had himself a big night.
I get it. You know, you want to be in position to kick the field goal, but you have to put the ball in his hands right now. Whedon has got to have the ball and make the decision where to throw. He's your guy, and that's your guy.
Justin Blackman, the all-everything wideout, has been battling Johnson all night long. 3rd and 6. Short of the first down as Cooper was wrapped up by Broomfield. Great tackle that time in the open field right at the 20.
No yards after the catch. Excellent tackle by Broomfield. And now Oklahoma State apparently says no to the go-ahead field goal.
4th and 1.
I don't get this.
2 timeouts remaining.
You have to kick this.
Play clock running down, as is the game clock. They'll likely use a timeout, would Mike Gundy here, before he sends out Quinn Sharp, I would think.
Yeah, he's got to kick this.
And they do use the timeout. 1:21 remaining. Tonight's Real Deal is brought to you by Wendy's.
Well, you talk about a real deal player. How about Leonard Johnson and what he did tonight lining up against the best receiver in college football? He blanketed Justin Blackman almost the entire night and made some good plays. Came up with a pick, battled and forced him to really go above and beyond to try and make plays. There's the pick right there. But Leonard Johnson has had a tremendous night.
Vote for The Real Deal at ESPN.com on your mobile phone. Quinn Sharp, the junior from Mansfield, Texas. Inside of 40 yards, he is 15 of 16.
Don't you want to ice him a little bit here?
This is for 37
timeouts.
They have 3 timeouts, does Iowa State, to take the lead. It is no good. No good.
Can I ask you a
for
question?
one of the most talented kickers in the country.
Remember Boise State, Nevada last year?
I remember saying those same exact simple words.
You got a great kicker lined up to put a top-rated team ahead late in the game.
Ron, I don't know that didn't go over the upright. Just to the outside, over the upright.
Was outside.
So it's no good. That was so close, right over the upright.
Yeah, Whedon and company thought they had one, but you got 2 officials standing right underneath, making the call with the understanding that they blew one. Not this crew, but officials did blow one.
Look at how
at Syracuse.
It's got to go to the inside of that upright, and I think it goes right over the upright.
Yeah, it's really, really high, and it continues to fade.
So does Jared Barnett have it in him with 1:17 to play. Quarterback draw. Flag is down. He may have a holding. Ball is loose. Ball came out at the end there. And Iowa State jumps on it. But Martin came in there, and Barnett took a hit at the end of that play. Slow to get up.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
You see the flag there, but you want to hold that football high and tight. Instead, he has it low, and a helmet right on top of it forces it out. Now, that would have been an Oklahoma State ball if they could have come up with it despite the penalty.
So much on the line here.
You have to ask yourself, when you're 0-18 all time against the top 2 ranked teams, backed up to your own 10, can you go that far, or do you play for overtime? And I think right now, if I'm Iowa State, the risk of not getting first downs or turning the ball over in this situation is a lot higher than the likelihood that you're going to be able to go a minute or so and go 70 yards on this team right now.
Let's remind everybody what's on the line here, because all year long this college football season has been funneling towards moments like this, the BCS standings as they are. We thought we had clarity, just knowing that LSU and Oklahoma State, they win out, everything's nice and clean and perfect. Nobody saw a night like this coming. 24-24.
If you're a fan of Alabama, Oregon, you're sitting there going, come on, Iowa State, and give chaos.
Utter chaos.
And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you want Oklahoma State to get a win, and then you want to face them in Bedlam. I think this is the right move by Iowa State.
Paul Rhodes realizing that the risk is not worth the potential reward. Not like guys like that, Justin Blackman and the rest of the crew.
I understand, and I think he understands that potent offense is tough to deal with in overtime, but where he is right now, he's likely to give that ball back to Oklahoma State with time on the clock around midfield and lose the ball game. So I think this is the right move to play for the overtime.
We showed you moments ago. 0-18 all time against ranked teams in the top 2 is Iowa State. But they have taken number 2 to the absolute limit here. And remember, this is all on the heels of such emotion in the Oklahoma State community, suffering unimaginable tragedy with the loss of 2 members of their athletic family in a plane crash. End of regulation, tied up. Overtime when we return. This was the scene moments ago. Quinn Sharp, one of the most talented place kickers in all of college football. A chance to give number 2 Oklahoma State the lead. But Paul Rhodes and the Cyclones, the mighty underdogs, are still very much alive. 24-24, the start of overtime. Second ranked team in the country, with only this game and then Bedlam against Oklahoma remaining for a trip to the BCS title. A reminder, gonna make it real simple for you, Rod. You want the last at bat.
Visitors, you're entitled to the coin toss. The winner of the coin toss will have their option between offense, defense, or an end of the field. Oklahoma State, what is your decision? Tails is his call. It's tails, you won the toss. Defense first. Defense, which end of the field? Oklahoma State has won the toss. First down.
That is the choice you should always make. You want the last at bat.
You want to know what has to be accomplished, as both teams will take possession at the 25, and it becomes match play.
And the pressure does mount, even with that last at bat. If the other team can score first, the pressure is on you to match.
They're firing themselves up as if they need any more motivation, with a chance to play for the BCS title with a win tonight and then a showdown with Oklahoma. But who would have thought that Iowa State, especially defensively, Rod, could play at this level against this quality of an offense? Their defense has been superb.
And people forget, they've only given up 17 points tonight. They have 24 because of the pick 6. And what Johnson has done in corner, really kind of shutting down Justin Blackman, just been amazing.
So Iowa State on offense first with Jared Barnett, who has 351 yards. This is the running quarterback with 351 yards. Reverses field and run open is right. Touchdown Cyclones. Zach Geyer for the extra point. And now Oklahoma State must score 7.
Here's White. It's a wheel route. The question is, which guy is picking up the second guy out? The second guy out is White. He's the second receiver to the right side. Oklahoma State blows it. Nobody picks up the second receiver coming out to the right side. Iowa State saved this play for late in the game. They never bothered to run it the entire game, waiting for the perfect time.
Give credit to Tom Herman the offensive coordinator, and well executed by Jared Barnett. His third touchdown pass of this game. This crowd is in complete disbelief. Their first lead of the game, 24 unanswered points. Whedon gets it complete and a first down that time as he connects with Josh Cooper. Joseph Randall inside the 10. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Mike Gundy has options down here now. With a 2nd and short, they can run inside, and they've got fade route opportunities to the outside with Blackman.
Second and calling it 4 now. Randall again. It's going to be 3rd and a long one as Patrick Neal was quick to jump on Joseph Randall.
Iowa State trying to strip the football out.
Oklahoma State fans, hands in their pockets. The pressure is on Whedon. 3rd down. To the end zone. Touchdown. Josh Cooper.
Clutch drive by Whedon. Clutch catch by Cooper.
The Heisman candidate in overtime. Now with 476 yards and 3 touchdown passes. But this extra point is a must to extend this game. Remember, Sharp missed the field goal that could have put him in front late in the 4th. And we will go to a 2nd overtime. The college football season. Could it be chaos or stay the course? Find out when we return. In a college football season that has been filled with outrageous twists and turns, welcome to what could end up being the most outrageous. Iowa State and number 2 Oklahoma State, 31-31, starting the 2nd overtime. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, and Samantha Steele here at Jack Trice Stadium. Whedon to start the 2nd overtime. Ball's in the air, and it is intercepted by Taryn Benton.
Jake Knott gets the tip. The star linebacker for Iowa State comes up with the tip, the deflection, which allows the pick by Thomas. I'm sorry, Benton.
So here's the deal, folks. Iowa State, any score wins it. Inside handoff. And Jeff Woody sets them up now. Inside the 20.
Remember, Iowa State missed a field goal, a chip shot in the 1st quarter.
Zach Geyer, replace kicker. Will it come down to him? That's a 1st down run. And look at Woody. All the way inside the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal. touchdown underdog was Iowa State, and now ready to shock the college football world.
If you're Iowa State, your best, most secure ball handler has to carry it.
Well, Woody's in there, the 235-pound running back. And Barnett's the quarterback in the gun. Woody. Touchdown, they did it! I'm not sure that this field can fit all 52,000, but they're going to try.
What a performance by Jeff Woody on that last drive. He accounted for all 25 yards for Iowa State and the game-winning touchdown.
And for the rest of college football, welcome to utter BCS chaos. 37-31, number 2 Oklahoma State ain't pretty no more. Their first loss of the year.
Jeff Woody, the best, most secure ball carrier, found his way into the end zone, all 25 yards on that drive. 44 for the night. Oklahoma State goes down, and now the one-loss teams line up and start lobbying.
All roads. Biggest win in school history. They were 0-56-2 against teams ranked number 1 through 6 all time. They become bowl eligible, and they knock off Oklahoma State, who was 2 wins away for playing for the Crystal Trophy in the BCS title game.
Can't wait for game day tomorrow morning.
They're going to be in Houston, 9 a.m. on ESPNU, 10 a.m. on ESPN. Chris Lee, Kirk Desmond, Aaron, David Pollock from Houston, who now is one of only 2 unbeatens. LSU stands on top. Oklahoma State catches a loss, and let the great debate begin as to who will be the one-loss team that could be playing for it all. Absolutely thrilling. And Rod, Brandon Whedon, that tip ball, Taryn Benton, spotting it, securing it, and setting the stage for Jeff Woody to get all 25 yards.
Well, you take a look at the BCS standings, you see what we've been talking about all night. Now, look at the one-loss teams lineup. Oklahoma State's probably going to fall behind Alabama, Oregon, and possibly even Oklahoma. Who knows? And Arkansas still has a big game out there with LSU. This thing is far from over.
And everybody's going to have an opinion. And everybody's going to make their argument. But for now, just take in the sights and sounds of a sea of cardinal and gold celebrating the biggest win they've ever had. The final score in double overtime. Iowa State 37-31 over number 2. For Rod Gilmore, and Samantha Steele and our entire crew. I'm Joe Tessitore. We're going to send it over to Sports Center, but don't worry, we're going to come right back here for plenty of coverage of this huge upset in Ames. For now, let's get you over to Sports Center. Enjoy the rest of your evening.